Hey guys, it's Lisa once again. This is part two of my sort of, I guess, coming out story. Um, because I ranted in the first one about something, a part of how I came out and who I am and how I feel, and it got nowhere near what I intended to do. So, what I was gonna say at the end of the other video before I decided to cut it off early is I am incredibly close to my mom. She is one of my best friends, and I say that not in a cheesy, corny way. I say that in a way that I will call her every day or every other day, and we will talk like we're just people, not like we're mother and mother trying to give advice to the daughter and daughter trying to understand her mother or anything. We're very close. We like the same music, we like the same clothes, and she's always been someone I've admired so much. So I felt she needed to know it about me just because it was part of me and she was my mother, not only my friend, my mother. Um, and I never had the pressure of religion, of them saying that religion prohibits it, because they never said that. They told me very clearly, um, later, I guess, when we were talking, that, they don't think that God would hate someone for loving their same gender. It's still love. And that's something that made me very, very happy. But that was later, and while I knew it in the back of my head that they felt this way, in your head, when you're trying to come out to your family, you come up with every possible bad situation because there's so many stories about your parents not accepting you, your parents kicking you out, your brother and sister not wanting to call you their brother or sister, and like just families falling apart for it, which is so sad for me. Um, so as an anxious person, like I said in the video before this, I was paranoid. I was totally sure she was going to walk out on me or something, even though I knew my mom and loved her and knew that she was an accepting person. I'd been putting off telling her for ages. Like, I wanted to make sure I was sure as well, which is really awful that we have to, like, be sure of our sexuality before we declare it. Because, like, I've known friends who have said so because they feel rejected in society, so they, want to find a reason to, or they say so because they need people to understand their label, or they need to understand themselves. And that's another problem with labels entirely. But when my mom came over, because I was living in Dallas and she was living in Houston, she'd come over several times, and I chickened out every single time because I was like, no, no, I don't need to tell her, and I still need to figure out if it's really true. Um, and finally, I was like, okay, I just need to do this. I'm going to do this tomorrow, no matter what. I'm going to do this. And that night, I was up all night dreaming about every possible bad situation. And I don't mean just thinking about it. I mean dreaming. I dreamed we were sitting on the couch because I told her there, and that she walked out the door. I dreamed that she laughed at me and said I was crazy, and that no, that wasn't the case, Lisa. Don't worry about it. You're totally straight. And I had a dream where she stopped talking to me, period. She just stared at me and went into the kitchen, and like it was awful. I dreamed every possibility. And being so close to my mom, that was enough to bring me to tears in the morning already. But I knew that I needed to do it, because I wouldn't do it otherwise. So we were about to go out for lunch or something, and I sat her down on the couch, and I said I had something to tell her, which is kind of funny because, normally when you see that kind of thing in the movies, it's, Mom, I'm pregnant. or something. And I think she was expecting that at first because her eyes got really like, oh gosh, oh no, have you been, oh no. Um, so I sat her down and I told her, Mom, I just think you need to know I'm bi. And it's such a weird word to me. It's like, I don't know why. It just doesn't seem to fit my tongue correctly. But, so I explained to her, I'm bi. I like girls. I had to clarify this for her just in case, because another part of my dream was her not knowing what bi was and questioning me and laughing and leaving. Um, and she looked at me for a moment, and there was this moment of silence, and I was like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, because that is the worst part of it, really. And she went, "Oh, honey, you could be a complete lesbian and I would still love you." And I just burst out laughing, half crying. It was just, I love my mother. I love my family. And I just like almost started crying. I think I did. And she realized, and she leaned forward and hugged me and said it was fine and that she didn't care and to be myself. And I was like, can we go get lunch? And she was like, yeah, let's go get lunch. And that was it. And like, I know she has had to think through it lately and everything. It is different with your mother when you're not really able to talk about, oh, I like this guy, this is what we're doing, this is uh we're dating, this is what we're doing, and I want to have kids and I want to do this. With a girl it is a little different, um but we've gotten over the awkward part of it mostly. With my dad, I was terrified to tell him as well because he's a pretty strong Republican. Mostly now I know, mostly because of finances, financial reasons. But I didn't know that at the time, and I'd forgotten or didn't know that his best friend had been gay. Um, and I say had been just because he passed away a couple of years ago, so it's not like he's not gay anymore, even though I suppose that could happen. Um, so I was terrified of telling my dad too, and I walked out on the porch again, finally worked up my guts, and I was like, okay, I'm home. I need to tell him before I leave. And I told him, he paused, gave me the silence for a moment, and was like, well, at least you told me now instead of me walking in on you making out with a girl. And I just, I can't believe my family that both of them reacted not only well, but like, oh, okay, and made me laugh. That's amazing. My brother accepted it as well. And I'm so lucky. And I want to tell you guys that because even if you know you're not going to be received that way, if you think you need to come out, then I recommend doing it because I'm not going to tell you to come out if you aren't ready yet. Because there is a time for it. You need to be comfortable with yourself. And for me, it was making sure and trying to question all the stereotypes that I didn't fit in and everything. But like, I felt so much better after it. I'd been paranoid about it for months and worrying about what they were going to do and how they were going to think and if I was going to have a family anymore. And when I finally came out, even with the awkward moments, like once in a while, I just like, it felt so much better. It felt like what I had done. I had told them a part of me, and that was that. And I didn't have to worry about them not knowing or me having to hide something from them or them having to discover something about me. So if you guys need someone to accept you, please, I hate this light. Please talk to me or talk to your close friends. If don't stay in the dark and be afraid of yourself because you're you, and like my family taught me, it's it's you. You shouldn't fight who you are. I mean, obviously be healthy and try to be I don't like putting guidelines on being someone. Just be yourself, feel how you are, love who you want to love or who you like. Um, doesn't matter what gender, doesn't matter what race. Like I said, love is love. Um, so I just wanted to put that out there. I know this is 2 9 or 10 minute videos in one night, but I just really felt like I needed to say it and explain it because that is my story and it is a huge part of me. Like, my strongest relationship has been with a girl and it was incredible, and my family has accepted me, my friends have accepted me, and I just wanted to tell people that when you get there, if you're gay or bi or straight, it doesn't matter because there are good sides to all of them. So don't be afraid of the stereotypes and of what people say. It's hard. It is. I've got a lot of issues with it sometimes, but it's part of you. So accept yourself and love yourself and love who you want to love. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for putting up with me. I know my camera's blue and disgusting. It's just a webcam that I used. I didn't want to drag my whole video out. It's like 11:45 at night right now. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Love you. See you later.